Hello and a very warm welcome to this special. We are talking about the match coming up tonight between Lucknow Super Giants and Royal Challengers Bangalore. Two teams who are in the top four but would look to get into the top two because the points are the same of these two teams. But whoever wins today might go up into those top two positions. So who is it going to be? Will it be Rahul once again, who scored 100 in the last game, or will it be Dinesh Karthik, who will dazzle us with his finishing abilities? I have Shumayan here with me, and let's get talking about this match. Shumayan, a lot to look forward to. One being that both these teams are playing so well, but the contrast in their batting is for everybody to see, where you have Lucknow Super Giants top order actually performing well, whereas for RCB, it's their middle order and specifically Dinesh Karthik, who's carrying them along.
Absolutely, and both the teams, Lucknow and RCB, they have had a similar start. Started with a defeat, then hat-tricks of wins, then again a defeat. So Lucknow and RCB are following the same path. But tonight's match, I think it's going to be a battle between RCB's bowling and LSG's great depth of batting. So RCB is bowling after we saw Hazelwood join in, and Harshal Patel is back as well. So they are looking like a very good bowling unit, one of the best in IPL, and we all know about Lucknow's depth, which we will talk about in the show as well.
We'll also tell you our Fantasy 11, and if you followed our advice on the Fantasy 11 yesterday, you would have won a lot of points, because we had Joss Butler as the captain and we had Yuzvendra Chahal as the vice captain. I'm sure we got you points, so keep following us. But let's talk about now the likely playing 11 for the two teams, and we'll begin with Lucknow Super Giants. Captain Rahul, what a red hot form Rahul is in, and just to see him, some of those shots in that 100 that he scored in the last game, absolutely beautiful to watch. Quinton de Kock among the runs as well. Number 3 is one position where they haven't had the stability. They've tried a couple of players, but nobody has really got that position, for his to own. Then there is Ayush Badoni in the side, a couple of matches where he's played well. Marcus Stoinis in the last game, looked like he's looking good, but again, scores is what you need. Then there is Deepak Hooda, Krunal Pandya, and then there is Jason Holder. Dushmantha Chameera, again, expensive, and I think they would want him to bowl better. I still remember the first match that he played in, and you said that he was actually bowling really well, but since then has proven expensive. Then there's Avesh Khan, who's been the pick of their bowlers really, and then Ravi Bishnui. And what I see is that if this match, this is going to be played at the D.Y. Patil Stadium, and where the ball is gripping a bit, spinners do have an advantage. So Ravi Bishnui is somebody we would all bet on, right?
Absolutely. They have 3 spinners, Ravi Bishnui, Krunal Pandya and Deepak Hooda. So if they can, they have to get the maximum out of those part-time bowlers as well. And Ravi Bishnui, we all know how good he is. He will give you wickets in those 4 overs. He will keep it tight. But yes, when a bowler is rising, teams start to play them out, and that's why I mentioned both Krunal Pandya and Deepak Hooda. If they can get a couple of wickets from their couple of overs, then I think it will be a huge boost, because looking at RCB's batting unit, I think they will try to play out Ravi Bishnui and not take much chance against him.
I was seeing something which was interesting, which was, I think we'll talk about that in key battles. One being Dinesh Karthik versus wrist spinners, where his strike rate goes down tremendously from 150 against the spinners, finger spinners, to 75 against wrist spinners. So maybe they'd want to hold someone like Ravi Bishnui back, which some of the other teams have done in the past, like Kuldeep Yadav was held back by Delhi. So yes, interesting little matchups that we'll talk about, but let's also take a look at the likely playing 11 of Royal Challengers Bangalore. Now again, they also have these positions where you feel like no one's been able to hold that position. Anuj Rawat, again, a couple of good innings, but hasn't been consistent. Faf Du Plessis just started with a bang, but since then, between him and Virat Kohli, you wanted more consistency. They haven't got it. Who has been their savior? 2 gentlemen who not many would have thought would get them out of sticky situations this time around. One is Dinesh Karthik, of course, the finisher-in-chief of this IPL. And then there is also Shahbaz Ahmed, who has played those innings. There's Vanendu Hasaranga, can expect few wickets from him. Harshal Patel will be back, so that'll be good. I mean, he I think missed the game before the last game.
He played the last match, but again was expensive.
Correct, was expensive. Mohammad Siraj redeemed himself. He got 2 wickets because he'd been expensive prior to that. And Josh Hazelwood came right in and said, look, I've been out, I come in, I'll give you 3 wickets, and that's what he did. So that's the Royal Challengers Bangalore. But I just feel like I want to know what's going on in Virat Kohli's mind. 2 run-outs in this IPL already. I don't know. I can't seem to... I don't think anyone can figure out what's going on with Virat Kohli.
A very, very tough time for him. I think his strike rate in the last 5 games is just 102. So that also shows a lot why he's not trying to get into T20 mode. This IPL has been very unlucky for Virat as well. A couple of runouts and one wrong LBW decision against Mumbai Indians. So things are not going his way. But whatever knock he has played, be it 12 runs or 15 runs, he has looked good. But suddenly that's one delivery or one movement which has got him out. And Virat Kohli, it's very tough. I don't want to say it, but if he continues like this, then I'm not seeing him in that T20 World Cup squad.
Fair point, and I would say I would extend it to even Rohit Sharma right now in the form
Rohit is the captain, so I'll give him that edge.
I agree, but having said that, I think questions will be raised because there are so many others who are performing well in that position itself in which they play. So I think that's another interesting one. But we still have some time to the World Cup, and a lot can change in a fortnight when it comes to Indian cricket. So who knows? But yes, at the moment, both Faf Du Plessis and Virat Kohli would want to score more runs for their team. Okay, we'll also talk about the Fantasy 11. And should we get straight into it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, let's get straight into it then. The captain has to be KL Rahul. I mean, I don't know. When he's playing and just the form that he's in, he's also come with this attitude where, he's like, I want to get runs. I want to lead from the front. I want to be the highest run scorer. Like, he just has that, his body language, everything makes me feel like he is going to be... He's trying very hard for that. So KL Rahul definitely.
And this time he has kept his strike rate in check as well. So scoring in a brisk pace, scoring big as always. So KL Rahul, I don't think there's any doubt about him not being the captain of our Fantasy 11 as well. The most consistent player in the last 3-4 years now. When it comes to batting, so no-brainer to keep KL Rahul as the captain.
Also, the attacking style of play that we've seen, yes, in one game, I think, where his strike rate was slightly low, but then also that was the match situation that he was in. But otherwise, you've seen with Lucknow Super Giants, because they bat deep, they've got just the kind of batting resources that one would dream of. I think he has that sense of comfort in playing the game that he wants to play. But also for all of you, before I get to the next player on the Fantasy 11, just a word of caution. This comes with its own risks, so you have to play any of these Fantasy 11 with some discretion, and make sure that there is some caution that you take care of. Okay, but let's move on then to who is the next player on that, and it has to be after KL Rahul. I think it is Dinesh Karthik, and you cannot leave him out right now. That's
it's impossible. It's Dinesh Karthik has gone to a different mode right now. And he has admitted he's desperate to get that India spot for the T20 World Cup. So he's doing his best, and I don't think it's a straight face off. Many will say Shimron Hetmeyer has a great strike rate this season as well, but the kind of knocks Dinesh Karthik has played, rescuing his team from tougher situation, I think. If not the best batsman, he has been the best finisher in this IPL.
He's definitely, by far for me, if I have to compare him to Shimron Hetmeyer, definitely the best finisher in the tournament, given the kind of consistency, the kind of positions that they've been in, where, the strike rate's gone beyond the reaching point, and he's come in and he's changed the game, turned it on its head. So Dinesh Karthik, and I think what stands out is also him talking about how much effort goes into this, where he's created these imaginary match situations where he has to get to a particular score, and he's, there's a lot of hard work. There is a method to this madness that he's explained earlier on. So Dinesh Karthik in that. Next is on that Fantasy 11 is, who do we put? Should we put Quinton de Kock in it? Because he has to be there. Okay, we've gone in with Faf Du Plessis. Quinton de Kock comes a little later. The order, yes, Faf Du Plessis is in that as well. And he's due a big score. Leading from the front for the first time in the IPL. He'll want to lead from the front. I mean, this is his first captaincy stint in the IPL.
Yeah, and can be a great differential pick for our fantasy game for this match. I mean, he hasn't scored a lot of runs in this tournament, has gotten off to good starts, but again, given that he's batting with Anuj Rawat and there's Virat Kohli who is not scoring runs, I think he has taken a bit more pressure when it comes to batting. But yes, the team is winning at the moment. RCB are doing well, and Faf would want to get into a different gear right now. If he starts scoring runs, I think RCB will definitely finish within the top 2.
Okay, then we move ahead to the next player on that list, and that has to be Quinton de Kock. And again, you talk of consistency, and you talk of taking that responsibility, and also keeping in mind the strike rate as an opener. I think Quinton de Kock has been doing the job so well. First he was doing, and I really think Mumbai miss him a lot this season, given how well he's been performing and how their openers have been struggling, and I think they miss him with the kind of form that he's in.
Absolutely, and RCB have loaded their pace attack, and Quinton de Kock loves to face pace bowling. So I think he will be very lethal against RCB, and if RCB don't get him out pretty early, then I'm not sure whether KL Rahul should be the captain or Quinton de Kock should be the captain, because he is special. He's a great talent to have up front, and what a pair he's making with KL Rahul.
Absolutely. Okay, then we move on to the newly married Glenn Maxwell. He's come in with a mission to impress his wife, possibly. I don't know, but as soon as he comes in, he impresses with the bat, and that Glenn Maxwell was the highest run scorer for RCB last season. He's just literally continued from where he left off.
Yeah, and Glenn Maxwell can give you wickets as well, but he's not bowling that much in IPL 2022. But when it comes to batting, given the poor form of RCB's top order, especially Faf and Virat Kohli, he's getting to face a lot more balls than anyone would have expected. So Glenn Maxwell played scored a great half century in the last match, or was it in the match before that? But he's in great touch. He's in great touch. He's in great mood after his marriage. So he's in a great state of mind. And when Maxwell
half century in the last match, 35 off 34.
Which the match which the DK finished off.
Correct.
So Glenn Maxwell actually turned the momentum towards RCB before DK carried it off.
That's right.
So Glenn Maxwell is in great touch, and when he is in great touch, we know what Glenn Maxwell can do. He doesn't need any introduction or any explanation of what he can do.
Yeah, I think he walked in at 92 for 5, and of course added to that total 55 runs. What he added to the total, 189, which proved to be a match-winning total for them against Delhi Capitals. Okay, so yes, Glenn Maxwell. Then we move on to Shahbaz Ahmed, and he has to be there. I feel like he is now by far the most underrated cricketer.
Absolutely.
For what he's been doing. And I know somewhere Dinesh Karthik is stealing that limelight from him because of how well Dinesh Karthik has been batting, but he's been playing a supporting role in all those innings in which Dinesh Karthik has rescued the team.
And he's playing at a great strike rate as well. In whatever match Shahbaz Ahmed has batted, he has walked in difficult situations ahead of Dinesh Karthik.
Yes.
And he has actually set that tempo for DK to continue. And Shahbaz I have seen him from grassroots levels when he was just a normal Bengal cricketer trying to break into that senior Bengal squad, and when as soon as he got that chance for the Bengal squad, he straight away impressed. among all the leading players of that Bengal squad, Manoj Tiwari, Riddhiman Saha and all, Shahbaz Ahmed was the guy who actually rescued and took Bengal to that Ranji Trophy final. So he's not a rookie, he's not a newbie. He has been there, and he has been winning matches for his state side.
Yeah.
Now he's doing that for RCB side, and great kudos to Mike Hassan and others to give a talent like Shahbaz Ahmed the best platform to express himself.
Absolutely,
that is at
and
number
has
5.
been bowling decently.
Yeah.
It's not that he's not been giving away runs. He's actually in the last game 2 overs, 19 runs. I mean, you know, he's been doing his job.
Yeah.
What is expected of him? Okay, then we move on to Josh Hazelwood. Again, Josh Hazelwood, we know what he can do for the national side, what he's done for Chennai Super Kings, but to come right into the game and then take 3 wickets for 28, that's phenomenal, and that shows your class, and also just shows how important he is in your fantasy 11 if you're playing one. So yes, Josh Hazelwood in there.
Yeah, most improved pacer in the last couple of years when it comes to T20 cricket. His economy rate is absolutely phenomenal, doesn't leak too many runs, is a wicket taker, and last year CSK used him as an enforcer, as a restrictor, so he can do a multiple role, and that's the quality of a world-class bowler. Hazelwood, be it Test, be it ODI, be it T20s, Hazelwood has been there for Australia and is doing the same now in IPL.
Okay, then next up is Ravi Bishnui. Now the youngster's been bowling well, no doubt about it. He's not been among too many wickets because I think players are trying to be cautious against him. But you know what is interesting is that against Royal Challengers, he's taken 2 for 17 and 3 for 32 in the past. So, you know, he's due a spell where he's going to get more wickets. Possibly it's going to be today.
Because the pitch also, as
Exactly.
you said, is assisting spinners. So maybe this is tonight is going to be Ravi Bishnui's night, and of course when a bowler like him is playing, you have to keep him in the fantasy 11, because you never know when he scalps 4 or 3 wickets in a match and gives truckloads of points. So no brainer to keep Ravi Bishnui in your fantasy 11.
That's right. Okay, then we had to take Deepak Huda as well. Again, some great innings from him, some very good finishing touches from Deepak Huda and Ayush Badoni in the first couple of matches. Again, he hasn't had to do much because the top order has been doing all the work for them since then. But yeah, Deepak Huda, both given that, you know, he can bowl a bit. It's good to have him.
Absolutely.
I feel like he is going to get some runs today.
Absolutely, and he'll have a point to prove the way Hardik Pandya has come into form with both bat and ball. Deepak Huda will say, I have been doing this for a couple of seasons now. Look at me, I'm not done yet. And the only way he can again catch the eyes is play some good shots, be it a cameo or be it a good knock. He needs that, because the pressure from Hardik Pandya at the moment is immense.
Okay, next up is Vanindu Hasaranga. Hasn't gone wicketless in the whole season. He's got 11 wickets in 6 games and hasn't really got an opportunity to bat a lot, but you know, because he comes really lower down, but has been doing the job with the ball, and he's been exceptional.
Absolutely, champion spinner, third in the wicket-taking list, purple cap list. So not great. Although Chahal, the other leg spinner, has been stealing the show right now in IPL, but Vanindu Hasaranga has silently done his job and given crucial breakthroughs, be it top order batsman or middle order batsman. So Hasaranga has to be there.
Okay, before we get to our last player on that Fantasy 11, News 9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to, and I've been saying it every day, but if you want to get the latest from the world of sports, fresh videos from, you know, all sports, you've got to subscribe to News 9 Sports. Okay, let's move on then and talk about the last player, and the last player is Marcus Stoinis. Now, Marcus Stoinis, one of the things we said at the auction was how good was Gautam Gambhir and Lucknow Super Giants in getting very good all-rounders in their side, and they've got, I think, the most number of all-rounders in their squad. Marcus Stoinis comes in and makes a difference straight away. And that's the reason why anybody would want him in the side, and he's done that already in the couple of games that he's played.
Yeah, and Marcus Stoinis comes with loads of experience, international experience as well, and has played in multiple roles for different teams. For Australia, he plays a different role. For BBL, in BBL he plays a different role. For DC, he had played a different role.
Yeah.
Now it will be interesting whether Lucknow Super Giants would actually want him to be their long-term number 3, given that spot the batters Manish Pandya and all haven't fired at all. So
there was a call for that, because in one of the matches it seemed like he would have got more runs if he'd been sent up the order.
I would love to see Lucknow Super Giants send either Marcus Stoinis or Jason Holder at number 3, because both the all-rounders have experience, know how to tackle pace bowling or spin bowling. So Marcus Stoinis or Jason Holder, I would love to see them bat at number 3, and if Marcus Stoinis gets the shot, and I think he's ahead in the pecking order for the number 3 spot. If he does play, then it's a jackpot for all the fantasy players.
That's right, and he's already hit 104 meter 6, so you can expect more from him. So yeah, that's the fantasy playing 11, again at your discretion. This requires some amount of caution from you, because this is risky, but that's the fantasy 11 for us for today's game. Tell us, what do you think of it? Do you think we should have made some changes? Do you think Virat Kohli should have been there? I'm sure all the Virat Kohli fans would have wanted that. But who are the players who you think should have been there and are not there? Do let us know. So quickly then, prediction time. We'll discuss this, of course, at 7 o'clock as well, but predictions for the game today. The team batting first. What's going to be the total, you feel? By the way, I was correct in my prediction yesterday.
Absolutely. Meha got it spot on, beat Josh Butler being the captain or the score.
200.
And 200 plus. So yeah. Kudos to Meha. Shout out to her.
Today's prediction.
Lucknow and RCB at DY Patil. I think I'm going for 170 for the team batting first.
And the team chasing will chase it down?
See, in the last couple of matches, both the last 2 matches at the DY Patil, both the teams
batting
first.
Yeah. Which is again interesting. Now today, whoever wins the toss, I want to see whether they'd want to field first or they want to bat first.
Break the trend.
Yeah. Also, because the moment I feel like nobody takes into account the scoreboard pressure. Anytime you go beyond 200, and I know some of the 200 plus totals have been chased down as well, but anytime you go beyond 200, things do get difficult.
We saw what happened with KKR last night. They were so near, but again, they crumbled under pressure.
See the pains coming out. Okay, do join us at 6:30 on our Hindi TV9 Bharatvarsh YouTube channel, where we'll be discussing this in Hindi. तो आप please वहाँ पे आ जाइएगा. इसी मैच पर हम चर्चा करेंगे. और 7 बजे at 7 o'clock, we're back on our socials on News 9 Digital and on News 9 Sports, Facebook as well as YouTube. So come join us then, and we can carry on this conversation. For now, goodbye. Also at 4:15, Aidan Markram will be joining us. So News 9. On that News 9 Sports and on News 9 Live. I'll be going live with Aidan Markram. That's right, the star performer for Sunrisers Hyderabad, the man who has been instrumental in turning things around for Sunrisers Hyderabad. Remember, they were losing, and then now they won 4 matches on the trot. Aidan Markram was one of the heroes in that turnaround. So he'll be talking to us. That's at 4:15. Do join us then. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.